Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We're always getting requests to dig deeper into certain topics, and well, today we're diving into one that tons of you have been asking about: talismans.
Ah, yes, talismans.
Exactly. We want to explore their significance, across cultures and history. We've got some incredible sources to guide us. And get this, you'll be surprised to find out just how many everyday objects can actually be considered talismans.
I know, right?
It's amazing. Things you probably interact with all the time and don't even realize it. We're even going to touch on the connection between talismans and Buddhist philosophy, especially the role of intention and mindfulness. We're ready to dive in.
Absolutely. It's so fascinating how this idea of talismans, it kind of transcends specific cultures and historical periods.
Yeah,
Humans have always sought this sense of security and meaning, haven't they? Imbuing objects with special powers.
it's so true, and we see it everywhere. Like, think about the ancient Egyptians and the Eye of Horus, right?
Ah.
Meant to provide protection and good health.
Oh, absolutely.
Or the ancient Greeks with their evil eye amulets designed to ward off negative energy.
Yeah.
And even in Asia, the Buddhist endless knot, that symbolizes the interconnectedness of life and the journey towards enlightenment. It's amazing how these diverse cultures all converged on this idea of using objects for protection and meaning.
It really highlights this fundamental human desire, for security and connection with something greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
A universal yearning that just transcends time and geography.
It makes you wonder, are our modern lucky charms just a continuation of that ancient desire? Like, is my lucky penny actually tapping into that same primal urge for protection?
I think so, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about a lucky coin, a piece of jewelry from a loved one, or even a special t-shirt you wear for big events.
Yeah.
These objects hold a significance that goes way beyond, their material value, wouldn't you say?
Totally. They become imbued with this personal meaning and often reflect our hopes and aspirations. But what's really intriguing to me is the psychology behind all of this. Is it just superstition? Or is there something deeper at play?
This is where the work of Carl Jung becomes really insightful. He talked about symbols being the language of the soul, suggesting that a talisman, even just a simple everyday object, can be charged with meaning through our own experiences and beliefs.
So it's like we're creating this mental association with the talisman, right?
Right.
If you believe that red string bracelet wards off bad luck, well, just seeing it on your wrist might give you a boost of confidence.
Precisely. And even the color red itself holds so much significance across various cultures, often symbolizing protection, vitality, and connection to, that primal energy. Some even associate it with the root chakra, which in Eastern traditions represents our foundation, our grounding, and that sense of security.
Wow, that's a whole other layer I hadn't even considered.
It's fascinating.
And this idea of belief influencing the power of a talisman, it actually ties in beautifully with Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and intention, right?
Absolutely. Buddhist philosophy really emphasizes that our minds shape our reality. It's not necessarily about the object itself having inherent magical powers.
Okay.
It's more about the energy and belief that we project onto it.
So it's more about the intention we bring to the object and how that intention influences our perception and actions.
Exactly.
It's like the talisman acts as a physical reminder of the energy we want to cultivate within ourselves.
You've hit the nail on the head. And this leads us to a really important question. If our intentions shape the power of a talisman, what are some practical ways that we can activate that potential? What everyday objects around us can become talismans, and how do we actually use them?
That's a great question. I'm ready to find out. Let's explore some examples. What about bracelets?
Okay.
I'm thinking beyond the red string for protection.
Right.
What about bracelets that hold sentimental value, or maybe those you receive from a place of spiritual significance?
Those are excellent examples. Think about those bracelets you might get at a temple or during a meaningful ceremony. They become infused with the energy of that experience, a tangible reminder of peace, connection, or even a commitment to a specific path.
It's almost like wearing a physical manifestation of that intention. And what about mirrors?
Oh, mirrors.
They're not just for checking our appearance, right? In Feng Shui, for example, they're strategically placed to redirect energy.
That's right, that's right. In Feng Shui, mirrors are believed to influence the flow of qi, which is the vital life force energy present in, all things, right? And by placing mirrors strategically, you can theoretically harmonize the energy flow within a space.
Right.
promoting balance and well-being. But beyond feng shui, mirrors also have a psychological impact, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. There's something inherently introspective about looking in a mirror. It forces you to kind of confront yourself, to reflect literally on who you are and how you present yourself to the world. And that act of self-reflection, it aligns with Buddhist teachings about self-awareness and understanding our inner landscape.
That's a wonderful connection. Now, let's consider another fascinating example. Plants.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll agree that having plants around just, makes a space feel more vibrant, but they're much more than just decorations.
They breathe life to a room, and in many cultures, they're seen as guardians of the home, protectors of energy. I'm particularly fascinated by the symbolism of trees in Buddhism.
Oh, that's a rich area to explore. In Buddhism, trees, especially the Bodhi tree, under which the Buddha attained enlightenment, they hold profound significance.
Yeah.
They symbolize growth, enlightenment, interconnectedness with nature, and that potential for spiritual awakening within each of us.
It's amazing how something as simple as a houseplant can connect us to such profound concepts.
Isn't it?
Okay, this is really opening my eyes to the potential talismans all around us. It's making me look at even the most mundane objects in a new light.
That's precisely the point. Even something as basic as salt.
Salt?
Salt, a staple in every kitchen, has a long history of use in purification rituals across cultures. What are your thoughts on that?
It's true. I mean, we sprinkle salt over our shoulders for good luck, use it to cleanse crystals, and even incorporate it into spiritual baths. It's fascinating how salt, something so ordinary, has become imbued with this power to purify and protect.
And in Buddhist traditions, salt is often used to cleanse both physical and spiritual spaces, symbolizing the neutralization of negativity and the creation of, a pure and sacred environment. Even the act of sprinkling salt can become a mindful practice, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It's like you're consciously imbuing that action with intention, focusing your energy on creating a positive and protected space. And this brings us back to that crucial element of personal meaning.
Yes.
For example, my grandmother's ring. It isn't just a piece of jewelry to me. It's a tangible connection to her love, her strength, her legacy. It becomes a talisman because of the deep personal meaning it holds for me.
What a beautiful way to put it. That personal connection is what imbues an object with true power, transforming it from a mere object into a cherished talisman. It's not about following some prescribed ritual. It's about finding those objects that resonate with your own story, your beliefs and aspirations. It's about the energy and intention you bring to the object.
This is blowing my mind. So even the way we arrange our homes, the objects we choose to surround ourselves with, can be talismanic. I'm thinking about those crystals on the shelf, wind chimes in the window, a strategically placed mirror. It's like we're intuitively designing our spaces with intention, whether we're consciously aware of it or not.
Precisely. Each element contributes to the overall energy of our living spaces. And even those seemingly insignificant daily rituals, like lighting a candle at the end of the day, mindfully sipping a cup of tea, always placing your keys in the same spot, these actions can become grounding rituals that bring a sense of order and intention to our lives.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's not just about the object itself, but the meaning and intention we bring to it. It seems like pretty much anything can become a talisman if we approach it with mindfulness and intention. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's not about superstition.
Right.
It's about harnessing the power of our minds to shape our reality.
Okay.
It's about connecting with our inner selves and finding those objects that resonate with who we are and who we aspire to be.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
But how do we actually activate that power? What are some practical ways we can use these everyday talismans to enhance our lives? I think that's what our listener really wants to know.
Let's dive into that next, because there are some simple yet profound practices that can make a real difference. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's explore how we can actually, actively engage with the energy of these everyday talismans.
Okay.
And unlock their potential, right? Simply having them around, it isn't enough.
Right. I'm thinking about my plants again. They're thriving. But are they really working their talismanic magic if I just water them and move on? What's the secret to activating their energy? Give us the how-to guide.
It all comes back to intention. Buddhist teachings, they emphasize this power of our minds to shape our reality, right? When we focus our energy, our thoughts on an object, imbue it with a specific purpose, we essentially awaken its potential as a talisman.
So if I believe my grandmother's ring brings me luck, I might start noticing more fortunate coincidences, just because I'm more attuned to them, more open to those possibilities.
Exactly. It's not about magic in a literal sense. It's about, well, it's about shifting our perception and creating a mindset that's aligned with our intentions. And a great way to activate a talisman is through what we might call a dedication ritual.
Ooh, a ritual. Sounds intriguing. What does that involve?
It's simpler than you might think. You hold the object, you close your eyes, and you visualize the energy you want it to embody. For example, if you're using a crystal as a talisman, imagine it absorbing light and radiating positivity back to you.
Okay.
Or if it's a plant, visualize it purifying your space, grounding you to the earth.
So it's about taking a moment to consciously connect with the object and infuse it with our own personal intentions.
Precisely. Now think about your home as a whole. It's not just a shelter.
Right.
It's an extension of yourself, your energy field. You can use talismans to create a space that truly supports your well-being.
I'm picturing like a strategically placed mirror to deflect negative energy, some vibrant plants to purify the air and bring in that sense of growth, or maybe some wind chimes by the window to invite in harmony and peace. It's like designing my home with intention.
Exactly. And you can even designate a protection corner, a dedicated space where you arrange your most meaningful talismans.
Oh, nice.
It could include, a family heirloom, a favorite book, a crystal grid, a small altar, anything that inspires you and brings a sense of peace.
I love it. A little sanctuary of positive energy. And speaking of personal connections, jewelry just seems like such a natural talisman, right? It's something we wear close to our bodies, constantly carrying that energy with us.
Absolutely. A necklace with a meaningful pendant, a ring that symbolizes your strength, these can be incredibly potent. And as you wear these pieces, you can incorporate them into your daily rituals, like, put them on each morning with intention, take them off each night with gratitude.
So even the simple act of putting on a necklace can become a moment of intention setting, a way to connect with that energy.
Precisely. And let's not forget those seemingly mundane daily routines we discussed earlier.
Oh, right.
Lighting a candle, sipping tea mindfully, or even placing your keys in the same spot. These can all become grounding, almost protective rituals that create that sense of order and intention in our lives.
Okay, it's all starting to click for me.
Yeah.
It's not about the talisman having inherent power, but rather it being a conduit for our own intentions and beliefs. It's a tool that helps us tap into our own inner strength.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, Buddhist teachings, they emphasize that true protection comes from within. Talismans are reminders of that inherent strength and resilience we all possess.
So it's about using the talisman as a focal point to access and cultivate that inner power.
Exactly. And here's another powerful technique you might find helpful.
Okay.
Combining talismans with affirmations. Pair a meaningful object with the positive statement or mantra that resonates with you.
Oh, so if I have a special stone on my desk that I use as a talisman, I could repeat an affirmation, like I am calm and focused every time I see it.
Yes. And over time, that object becomes a trigger for that affirmation, reinforcing your desired mindset and helping you stay aligned with your intentions.
This is giving me so many ideas. I suddenly want to go on a talisman treasure hunt in my own home, seeking out those objects that speak to me and hold a special significance.
Do it. And remember, you can even create your own talismans. Handmade items, well, they carry a unique energy because they're infused with your personal effort and intention.
That's a great idea. It could be anything, from a dream catcher to a knitted scarf,
Yeah.
The very act of creating it becomes a ritual in itself, infusing the object with your energy and purpose.
Exactly. And finally, never underestimate the power of gratitude. At the end of each day, just take a moment to acknowledge the role your talismans have played in your life.
Yeah.
Thank them for their support, for reminding you of your strength, for bringing peace to your space.
Gratitude, the ultimate power booster. I'm noticing a theme here, mindfulness, intention, gratitude. It's about weaving these practices into our everyday lives and using talismans as tangible reminders of the energy we want to cultivate.
That's the beauty of talismans. They're not about complicated rituals or esoteric knowledge. They're about finding those simple ways to connect with ourselves, to cultivate positivity, and to live with greater intention.
I'm feeling inspired and empowered. I think our listener is probably ready to embark on their own talisman journey. But before we wrap up, there's one more piece of this puzzle I'm eager to explore. This idea that talismans can be about more than just protection.
You're absolutely right. We've talked a lot about warding off negativity, but talismans can be powerful tools for attracting positive energy, manifesting our desires, and, really connecting with our spiritual side.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's dive into that next because I have a feeling this is where things get really transformative. Okay, so we've explored the history and the psychology behind talismans, and we've even discovered how to incorporate them into our daily lives. But now, well, I'm really curious about this idea that they can be used for more than just protection. What else is possible?
That's where the connection to Buddhist philosophy gets really fascinating.
Yeah.
Talismans can become tools for spiritual growth, for self-discovery, helping us connect with our, inner wisdom and cultivate qualities like compassion, gratitude, mindfulness.
So it's about going beyond simply warding off negativity, right?
Yes,
And actively inviting in positive energy and creating a more fulfilling life.
exactly.
Yeah.
Remember, in Buddhist thought, the ultimate goal is to achieve enlightenment, to free ourselves from suffering, and live a life of purpose and meaning.
Right.
And talismans can be powerful allies on that journey.
I'm all ears. How can we use these everyday objects,
Yeah.
to enhance our spiritual journey?
Well, it starts with intention. We've discussed setting intentions for protection, but you can also set intentions for growth, for healing, for connecting with your higher self.
Okay.
For instance, you might choose a talisman to represent compassion and carry it with you as a reminder to practice kindness, in your interactions.
I love that. It's like having a little nudge to stay aligned with your values.
Yeah.
What about using talismans to, overcome specific challenges or achieve certain goals?
That's where visualization comes in. Hold your talisman and visualize yourself, successfully navigating a difficult situation or achieving a desired outcome. For example, if you're facing a challenging conversation, visualize yourself communicating with clarity and compassion while holding a talisman that represents communication or courage.
So instead of passively hoping for things to get better, you're actively using the talisman as a focal point for your energy and intentions.
Precisely. And here, the Buddhist concept of mindfulness becomes really crucial. When we engage with our talismans mindfully, whether we're holding them, looking at them, or just, thinking about them, we bring our awareness to the present moment, We
Yeah.
cultivate that intentionality in our lives.
Right, so that mindfulness, it kind of helps us shift away from those negative thought patterns and create a more positive reality.
Exactly. It's about shifting from fear and worry to hope and possibility.
Yeah.
And Buddhism emphasizes that true happiness, well, it comes from within, not from external objects.
So the talisman isn't a magic solution.
No.
It's a tool to help you tap into your inner resources.
Right. It's a symbol, a reminder, a focal point for your intentions. But the real transformation, well, that occurs within you.
This completely reframes my understanding of talismans. It's not about, seeking external protection or relying on an object to do the work for you. It's about using it as a catalyst for personal growth and spiritual development.
And that's where the real magic lies. It's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your reality, to create a life filled with purpose, meaning, and connection.
What a powerful realization. So what's the key takeaway for our listener, as they embark on their own talisman journey?
Approach it with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. Explore different objects, different traditions, different rituals, but most importantly, listen to your intuition. What feels meaningful to you? What resonates with your soul?
It's not about finding the perfect talisman, but those that speak to your heart.
Yes.
Support your personal journey and remind you of your inner power.
Exactly. Because ultimately, the most potent talisman you possess is your own mind, your own heart, your own spirit.
What a beautiful way to wrap up our deep dive into the world of talismans. I hope our listener feels inspired to explore this further and discover the magic waiting to be unlocked, within their own life.
Me too. Remember, it's all about intention, mindfulness, and embracing the journey.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in the power within you.